Welcome to another Verbling class. Tonight's class, Describe What You See, helps students practice speaking based on images from their past or memories from their past. I'll show an image and then I want students to talk about what comes to mind when they see that image. Class will start shortly. Once students arrive in the class, I started a little early here. Edson, hello, sir. Edson, can you hear me?
Yes, now yes, okay. My computer was downloading the page, and now that's okay.
Hey, it's so good to, I'm glad to have you as a regular student, Edson.
Yes, good. I like your classes.
Well, I like your humor. You're always cheerful and eager to learn. I like that. And by the way, to let you know, I've got 8 classes coming up this week. I have
saw.
4 on Christmas Eve.
Jeez, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, and the last one is actually going to be a conversation all to do with the Christmas. I'll have some video. It'll be lots of fun role playing. I think Santa is going to visit this class. Santa is going to be one of the roles that we'll have, and we'll have a whole bunch of children to see if they're naughty or nice.
Great.
And I probably will teach Christmas Day. It's going to be busy here. I'll have a turkey. I'll have friends over. But I think in the evening things will get a little quiet. And if I do, I promise I'll teach at least 1 class Christmas Day.
Great. I will be there for sure.
Good. Thank you, Edson. And David, hello, sir.
You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Okay, so David, I got to ask you, what is your favorite Christmas movie, or do you have more than one?
Oh, the Life is Beautiful, I think.
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. Oh, my favorite.
Jimmy Stewart.
Yes, I mean, it's my favorite.
Oh, that's awesome. And Amp, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
Christmas movies? No, I don't have a favorite one.
Have you ever seen A Christmas Story?
Yeah. I've been, but I am too bad remembering the names of the movies.
Well, here I'm gonna type out a couple of these. These are my top picks. A Christmas Vacation. It was done in the 80s. I think it was 1987. It's a Wonderful Life. I think it was in the 1950s. Key actor is Jimmy Stewart. Christmas Carol, the one from 1953 with Alistair Sim. Really good acting. Well done. The original black and white, although they've colorized it. And of course, A Christmas Story. And it's in the 80s as well. Did I spell that right? Yeah. And so that's from the 1980s. Really, really good movies. Really sort of capture the Christmas spirit. My recommendations for you guys. Okay, so one last plug, because a few of you just came in. I have 8 classes this week. 4 of them are on Christmas Eve. 1 of them is going to be on Christmas Day, although I haven't booked it yet. So let's see, it's about 4 minutes after. I'm going to go ahead and get us ready. I've got my smartphone here, and once again, it's down to about 13% battery life. I know, it's my fault. I didn't charge it last night. Bad teacher. But that's okay, 13% will get us through the class. I'm going to give you 2 minutes of talk time. Now, you guys are all advanced students, so I want to remind you a couple of things. Nothing wrong with adding a pause. Remember, you've got the full 2 minutes. For some of us older people, such as myself, sometimes I don't pull things from my memory very quickly. So instead of doing this or that, I'll do this or that while I'm trying to remember. And what happens is people listen more to what you're saying, and they actually think you're smarter. So that one technique, using pauses, changing the emphasis or the speed at which you enunciate a word, can dramatically change how you deliver the message. Remember our communication cycle. We have one person here and one person here, and we're talking and responding. In between, we have noise. That can be an accent. It can be somebody in the background talking. It could be something falling. It could be anything. And then we have feedback. Once one person says something, the other person responds either by a nod or an expression. That's feedback, or by saying something. So I'm going to go from right to left this time, so that means Edson, David, and Amp. So I should have an image up, or it's not going to work very well. So here's my festive image. I don't know any of these people. This is just off the weeb. So Edson, when I show you this image, I want you to tell me what comes to your mind. What memories from a distant past are you thinking about? Or perhaps you're thinking to the future. Your time starts now, sir.
I remember once when I was in my uncle's house. Then we were celebrating Christmas, but my uncle did
Uncle?
He opened the meat, the beef, put some fruits, and then closed it, and we had a lot of fun by eating, by drinking some wines and beers, and some sodas as well, water. And suddenly my cousin just said, "What's wrong with this beef? Because it's tasting like it is sweet, but usually beef is sour. And then he got a lot of trouble with these phrases, because my aunt didn't like the situation. Is almost hit him, but was really fun the way that he said during the dinner. But in the end, it was really okay. Everybody had a lot of fun. We drank, we ate a lot of foods, drink, and we celebrated very well our Christmas party. And everybody, after some 3 or 4 hours, everybody was sleeping very well, with our stomach full. And
Thank you, Edson. So I threw up a couple of words there. Now, you said ankle. You mean to say uncle. Okay, so ankle is actually part of your heel on your foot, so you don't want to get those two mixed up, especially if you're talking to your uncle. And aunt, pretty good. It's actually just like A-N-T for standard North American. If it's British, you would say aunt. So the British would say aunt. And drank, we drank a lot. If you drink a lot, you become drunk. So past tense, we drank a lot. And being intoxicated, you become drunk. Now, just something to help you with, Edson, focus on your consonants a bit more. So Don't forget the F when you're talking about beef.
Okay.
Right? And focus on other consonants too, like B and T, and make sure those trailing consonants are sharp.
Mm-hmm.
I know if you listen to a lot of Americans and Canadians, they're sloppy, they're lazy. Quite often, they'll say mountain instead of mountain. Why is it different for you than them? Well, because you have an accent. So if you don't pronounce those syllables clearly, well, then it's harder for people to understand.
Okay.
All right, thank you. David, are you ready, sir?
I guess I am.
Well, I can go to AMP if you're not.
Sure, because I'm chewing out. Go to AMP.
Okay, I will. AMP.
David having his dinner again. Okay, well, this this picture reminds me, well, when is New Year's festivity here, because of all my family, my brothers and their families, and they are coming to my house, and we have a big dinner, and we are around 30 people, in between all my extended family. And yes, we have just a large table, and we have always a toast after we burn the puppet at the end of the year, and we are having dinner around 1 a.m. in the morning when is New Year's, and generally someone is in charge of to, to say some words for the new year, and we pray before having the dinner. And yeah, and that is the important an important part when is the moment of the picture, that try to get the view of all of the people at the same time. It's pretty difficult, and my sister starts saying no again, again and again, until she get the perfect picture. And sometimes the people complain, no, not again, we have to we want to eat because it's too late. Yeah, and after that we have a small party at home, just dancing in between us. And yes, it's generally the celebration that we have on New Year's Eve. Um,
Amp, I've got to say, you're quite the storyteller. And you've been listening because you told that as a story. You paused, like you're reading to a child a book. You had a perfect storyteller voice. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, just a couple of things. You were talking about when I think it was somebody in your family would have to say something before the meal. We're not talking about grace, but in English we would say a couple of things. So if, let's say, I'm sitting down to dinner with my family and some friends, I might say, well, Dave, would you like to say a few words before we start? Or somebody might say, hey, will you give us a short speech?
Okay, thank you.
More casual is to say a few words.
Okay, I got it.
All right, well, I'll give David a chance to clear his mouth. I know what it's like to be eating dinner right now because I haven't eaten yet. I just had a private class with one of the fellow students. You guys are familiar with her.
Asma?
Yeah, just had a class with Asma, a private session. So, and that's one of the reasons why you'll see on there I've got a small, a business small talk class, and there's a lot of conversation classes. One of the things I'm going to do tonight is find some other topics to talk about. So again, if you guys have any ideas for topics for this week, message me, because I've got to go hunt down some videos. It's a little bit more work than it used to be because I want to find you guys the right videos. But that's enough for now. So David, I'm going to turn it over to you. Based on this image here, what comes to mind?
Well, many ideas comes to mind, many memories comes to mind. Brings me back to the time when I was in Minneapolis, my first Christmas in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Because as you can tell, they are very whitey. So, and I love my whiteys in Minneapolis. I mean, it's amazing people. And my first Christmas was like this. Everybody was very Caucasian. Um, I was able also to compare traditions. My first Christmas in Minneapolis, American tradition, or maybe Minnesotan traditions, compared to my Peruvian roots, my Peruvian traditions. First of all, the main difference is that Americans celebrate the 25th, not the 24th. Most Latinos celebrate Christmas on the 24th at midnight. And it's a big thing, we have fireworks, children are awake because the Santa Claus is coming to town, bringing their gifts. People are happy, they hug, they kiss, drinking champagne, eating. It's a huge celebration. American style is a little bit different. It's on the 25th, first of all, and then people go to church, and then they have a little lunch or maybe dinner for the family. They open the gifts. There's a lot of games going on. Not too much music in terms of caroling going on, and of course the traditional Christmas tree and the gifts, food. But I think even though they are so different, I think the main idea of Christmas is still very very Latin and very alive in both traditions. They both care about family values and getting together. I'm done.
But again, very similar to what Amp was doing, the storytelling, and I felt like jumping in several times. A couple of things, David. It's interesting what you say there because I grew up, and I'm British. I grew up in a very British family with British traditions. And when we have the other image later, I'll talk more about Christmas breakfast. But for our family, Christmas Eve was all about the anticipation the night before. And we didn't open anything the night before, but we got together. We had all sorts of wonderful, tasty things. My mom made some different types of cheeses. So she'd get some cream cheese. She'd mix it with salmon to get a salmon mousse cream cheese. We'd have olives. We would have pickles. We would have sausage rolls, all sorts of tasty things, and we'd watch some Christmas movies. Then, of course, when we wake up, it was Christmas Day. We'd usually start with our breakfast, a nice Christmas breakfast, English style, followed by opening of presents, which usually involved some sort of hike or skiing while my mother was cooking this huge 32-pound turkey for a big, big meal. So it's a little bit how we did it. So enough of me talking now. Now for the next image. And this image is kind of dealing with the same sort of thing. And what I'm trying to do here is create a sort of a festive class here. I want us to be building that anticipation for the 24th or the 25th. So here we go. Next image, and I'm going to start with Edson. Edson, what comes to mind when you see this image?
I love chicken. I prefer chicken than beef.
That's a turkey.
A turkey? I thought it was chicken. But anyway, I love turkey as well. And I prefer turkey than some beefs. Especially when you put some sauces, different sauce, or you put some salads or fruits inside the turkey. Then you eat with wine or with beers, and it gets really really good. I remember once when my mother did some kind of mixture like turkey with chicken with beef as well, and I mix it in my meal, my dish, and then I ate. It was delicious, especially because my mother put some kind of vegetables inside of turkey and the chicken, and then I mixed everything and I ate with some beers. Was delicious, very delicious, a lot of. And it reminds me one special occasion when I was going to supermarkets to buy chicken, and there was no chicken available to buy, and then I had to choose between turkey or beef. Then I choose, of course, turkey, and I bring my mother.
That's wonderful. Yeah, turkeys do look like chickens, but you kind of have to look into the background there to see the size of the dishes to realize it's probably a turkey. But that is delicious looking. Edson, let me hear you say beef.
Beef.
Good. Put some.
Put some.
Put some.
Put some.
Yeah, I'm not hearing the T. That's what I'm talking about, trailing consonants when you're flowing from one word to another.
Put some.
Now, Edson, when you took a private class with me, I think we talked about tongue twisters, did we not?
Yes, yes, yes.
Have you stopped doing those?
I try actually.
Good. I want you to keep doing those, okay?
Okay.
All
I
right.
will do.
Thank you. David, are you ready, or are
Kitchen.
you still enjoying some of your tasty dinner?
Both.
Shall I
Ready
put
and
it
enjoying
down?
my dinner. Yeah, I can talk.
Okay. So, David, you've got the floor. Look at this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bird.
I will go for delicious, delicious, delicious turkey. How about that? Yes, I love turkey, especially for Christmas. New Year's Eve, we usually eat pork, but in my family. But turkey was the main dish on Christmas Eve and with the big dinner. What is good about turkey is that it's very delicious only that day. After the second day, it's not that good anymore. I mean, after the third day, like, oh, I'm sick of turkey. And that was a mistake that I made with a friend when I was living in Minneapolis. So we invite some friends over, a couple of friends over, and we say, oh, let's make a turkey. He said, sure. So we cook a turkey, but it was only four of us. So we only ate maybe half of a turkey. Then we have turkey for the whole week. So by the third day, we were sick of turkey. We hated turkey. So for the following year, what we did is we only bought the breast of the turkey, and we just prepared the breast of the turkey. So that was more manageable. But again, I feel also sorry for the turkey because poor thing. Who decided to be the turkey the main dish? Well, I don't know. I mean, us, but it's good. It's good. It is delicious, and it's a bird that is able to, you can be shared with somebody else. With the whole family. Everybody's happy with the turkey. Now, something is funny that when I came here, people say, "You want white or brown?"
White or dark?
Well, yeah, white or dark meat. And I say, what do you mean? And I don't mean. It's funny that you guys in America, at least in America, people like the white or the dark meat. For me, it's like it's turkey.
Yeah, I know, and American, and I say this in a nice way, but Americans are strange sometimes. They do things. Like, for example, what I found strange when I moved to the U.S. was that they call processed cheese American cheese. Because I remember somebody said, do you want American cheese? And I looked at my friend and said, what's American cheese? Processed cheese. Well, why don't you call it processed cheese? I thought it was like something like cheddar, right? It was something, unprocessed. But yeah, well done. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm hungry too, Edson. I haven't eaten yet. It's 6 o'clock, 6:30 my time, local time. And just for those of you wondering, for those of you in Qatar, it's actually 2:25 right now, or 9:30 in Sao Paulo. That's my world report. Now to Amp, who's taken herself off mute, so I know she's getting ready. I think Amp has got an incredible story for us. So Amp, what would you like to tell us?
Well, when I saw this turkey, that reminds me that I have to to start cooking for Christmas Eve. And yeah, generally the turkey, it's if you don't use the dressings, appropriate dressings, well, it can be very simple. But yes, I add the wine and beer and theme another species, and yeah, it's good enough. But the part that I like the most during the dinner is stuff that is beside with the turkey, and it is made with nuts and raisins and prunes, and it's a little sweet. And then also I use some the sweet bread to make it a little how to say um, gravy, a little the sauce, like the sauce. And yes, that is the part that I enjoy the most. And it's the only way that I can eat olive, because the taste that it brings to this preparation, it's special. But for itself, I don't like to eat olive. But in during the Christmas, it's I can't not miss put this ingredient in my preparation. And also a fresh salad. Generally, my sisters like when I put in the salad some kind of fruit. And yeah, that is the dish that I am going to prepare.
It sounds delicious. I'm going to be the one cooking the turkey here. I haven't even thought through how I want to do the stuffing yet. I'm not sure at all, but I do know that the turkey's going to turn out really, really well. I'm going to make some roast potatoes, the ones that are kind of golden brown on the outside, but taste like mashed potatoes on the inside. Some Brussels sprouts, maybe some cauliflower, but definitely some butternut squash. There's nothing better than baked butternut squash with, and I kid you not here, homemade gravy. I take the juices from the turkey and make gravy out of that. That's the best way to get gravy. There's nothing extra in it.
Yes, with mushrooms or with prunes. I like that.
Okay, guys, I'm going to have to end class early tonight because I'm really, really hungry now. All right, well, we're going to continue the food motif.
How about desserts?
Well, yeah, well, not quite yet because the class is only half over. We got to wait for it. No, but David, you're going to like this next piece. This is what I would consider a British breakfast.
All right.
Fancy the way they've done it. But this is something I would love to have, or I have had, for Christmas breakfast. Right? I should say with of my British breakfast. So here we go.
British breakfast.
Right, yes. So Edson,
British breakfast. Bring it on.
Stop, sir, please. Edson, looking at this here breakfast, could you please tell us what first comes to mind when you see this breakfast?
Uh-oh, I'm getting hungry. I love eggs. I love pork. I love everything that I am seeing this picture. But I remember when I was at my first day, my first time in the US, I was about to have breakfast, and suddenly my dad's house give me this kind of dish. I look at, so I got astonished because I've never had like eggs, pork in the morning. I just had during the dinner or even the breakfast in the lunch, and tomatoes. But once I ate that, I got no. This is gonna be from now on. This is gonna be my breakfast. Even when I come back home, I'll do it every time again. Cause I got used with that, and nowadays I am eating this. I'm having this kind of breakfast. Not very often, but just pretty like once a week or twice a week. Not three eyes because you just eggs your cholesterol is getting up and you cannot control of the situation because you need to go to the gym, you need to go for a walk, and especially bread because bread makes your stomach getting fat and fatter, and you need to control your foods, what you are eating. But anyway, the kind of sauce I
Sorry,
remember
time is up.
now, cause okay,
Well done. Yeah, so let me explain what we see here. So those strange-looking things up at the top with the orange circles, we call those eggs. Um, and the brown stuff beside it is toast, usually English style. It's kind of very hard before it's buttered. And then, of
is that
course,
called bread?
yeah, that's toast.
Okay.
And then we see some sliced tomatoes. That round thing that's black, that's what we call blood sausage.
Hmm,
There's also some pork
nice.
chops, some sausages, they look to be portobello mushrooms, and some potatoes underneath.
Is that kind of beef that black?
It's blood
Or is that
sausage. It's black because it's blood, made with blood.
okay?
All
What is the
right.
bottom?
Those are baked beans.
Okay. Jeez, this size.
Well, that's probably for more than one person, though.
Okay.
All right, now we're on to David before we give Anna a chance. So, David, what comes to mind when you see this enormous breakfast?
Well, I don't think it's a breakfast. It's more like lunch or dinner. But I guess some people like this kind of heavy, full of flavors breakfast. Close to have a heart attack too. So much fat in anything. But this reminds me of Argentinian restaurants. They have what is called parrillas, and I remember that I went to a parrilla in Miami. I went to this big restaurant, Argentinian restaurant, and they have parrilla, and they were something like this. They have sausages, black uh, sausages, ribs, and chicken, and the whole. It was like a platter, and it was about $20, and it was impossible for me to eat the whole thing. So I have to share with another friend. But it was fun. It was fun. It was a lot of food. I didn't like the sausage that much. They didn't have tomatoes or eggs, but they did have not beans either. But they do have everything else, and plus they have also potatoes. So that's what it reminds me of, more like a Argentinian parrilla, maybe also a Brazilian parrilla. I don't know. Brazil also, I know they eat a lot of um, meat. I don't know about sausages. So yeah, but I don't think this is a breakfast. Maybe in England, but I thought they were more like a sophisticated. That we like maybe coffee and something like tea or a little piece of bread.
Oh, yeah, there's little pieces of bread. There's just lots of little pieces.
Yeah, it's a lot of food for breakfast, but who am I to judge? Go ahead.
And I believe some of this is presentation. Like, so for me, I would probably have the tomatoes, the sauce, the blood sausage, maybe some female bacon. That's the Canadian influence. Certainly some mushrooms. So when you kind of look at it, it really isn't too much if you're having a good full-size breakfast. So I probably wouldn't have the pork chops, though. All right, so Anna, unfortunately, you missed the beginning where we were looking at wonderful pictures of people eating a large dinner with each other. Then we saw some pictures of turkey. We're getting in a very festive mood here. I'm showing people images that kind of relate to the holidays. So when we look at this image here, I don't know what comes to mind when you see this because you haven't seen the other images, Anna, but you've got 2 minutes. I'd like to hear what you have to say when you see this image. What comes to mind?
Okay, I agree with David that it doesn't look like a breakfast. It's a it's more like a lunch, at least for me. I like sunny side up. I don't know how to call. I forgot. Uh, uh, sunny side up eggs, I guess. Mm, I don't know how to call. Yes, and uh, and the meat and the sausage reminds me a barbecue, and I like grilled mushrooms as well. But it's not the kind of meal that I would eat. It seems to be heavy. You know, beans with egg and all that meat together. I'm not sure if it would go well. Um, what else can I say? Uh, uh, is my time over, teacher?
Sorry, I was on mute. No, you've still got time. You'll hear the sound go. You got about 36 seconds if you would like to keep talking.
Okay, I think the sauce is a barbecue sauce, and I like it a lot. I like barbecue sauce with ribs, and I I don't know what else to say, teacher.
That's okay. You don't have to. I mean, yeah, I can see how to you guys it doesn't look like an English breakfast, but to me the main ingredients are certainly there. And yeah, 23 minutes till I can eat. 23 minutes till I can eat. 22 minutes until I can eat. Yes, that's what I keep thinking to myself. All right. So, Amp, you're looking at the same image. I promise you guys the next image you're going to see is a little sweeter. So, with that, Amp, what comes to mind when you see this image?
Well, this is a big lunch or a barbecue when you have a celebration after a soccer match or something. But for breakfast, no. Here for breakfast, you cannot miss the coffee or, well, if you want a little more, you can eat a dish that is made with fish, and it's called encebollado, and that one is one of the most traditional here in my city. After a party, after that the people they want to eat an encebollado. Sometimes in the middle of the after the party, for example, 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning, people goes to eat at that hour, and encebollado. Or in the morning, you can eat coffee with a bowl made of green plantain and filled of cheese, mozzarella cheese, or with the skin of the pork, that it's just fried, the skin of the pork, and these small pieces
Pork
are
rind.
in. Hmm?
I think they're called pork rinds.
Okay, and you put it inside of the bowl of green plantain, and yes, with a big cup of coffee. Um, the classic breakfast here, after Christmas, on the day of Christmas, is with chocolate.
Sorry, something you said about chopsticks. What was that?
Not chocolate.
Oh, chocolate. I was going to say it didn't make sense. Chopsticks.
No, chocolate. Yeah.
If you were Chinese, that would make a
Hot
lot of
chocolate.
sense. All right. So yeah, pork rind. That's the essentially the skin, right? It's the outer part of bacon, which you don't get in North America so much. But yes, pork rinds, chewy. Or if you've ever gone to a Chinese restaurant, ask for pig's ear, because they slice up the ear and serve it with a cucumber. It's very tasty. All right, guys. Well, I promise you something sweet. Again, we English like to have what we call a very traditional dessert. It's called a trifle. It's multiple layers. Despite what you've seen on The Simpsons, we do not use whipped cream with gummy bears and Miracle Whip and all that nasty stuff. It's made with custard. It's made with strawberries, added a little bit of rum to give it that bit of punch, or a bit of brandy. You can put in kiwis and other fruit too, so you can make this very tropical, or you can make it very Mediterranean. It's really up to you. And a very, very light whipped cream, not something too heavy. But of course, it's describe what you see, not describe what I say. So here's the image here. That's what that is. That's a trifle. But again, guys, I don't want you to describe what I've shown you. I want you to describe what comes to mind when you see this image. And if you can, in relation to the holiday season that we're upon. So, Edson, I'll start with you, sir. Go ahead. You've got 2 minutes.
It reminds me every time after dinner, sometimes I have some like ice creams, with strawberries and some kind of another fruits, and it's delicious, and mainly because I prepare by myself, because when my mother prepares it doesn't taste good, because she doesn't do like put a lot of ingredients, many ingredients like fruits or I don't know, any other kinds of stuffs. But I put fruits, berries, and morangos, and I don't know. And I was having dinner, after dinner, of course, in my aunt's house, and she had prepared some kinds of ice creams with this, and suddenly something very funny happened. Like my cousin was having the ice creams, and suddenly something inside the ice cream just got alive. I don't know what what happened. What he put it inside of his ice cream, but was a kind of from the fruit. I don't know, some kind of insects. Maybe some insects had fallen.
Thank you very much. Now, while you were just finishing off on that, I have updated a class. So the class on December the 23rd, 2 days from now, the conversation class is called Donald Trump's Controversial Campaign. So Edson wanted us to do a conversation class dealing with the U.S. political system. So I thought this would be an excellent one, because we'll watch a video, and it's a serious video. It's not meant to be sensational, to talk about Donald Trump's campaign and how it's controversial. And I think some of the role-playing we can certainly do in this class is having everybody representing a candidate for the Republican campaign. Or we could even add some Democrats into that. So that's coming up on Wednesday, so feel free to grab a seat for that. Well done. Thank you very much, Edson. So I know David's eating, so David probably isn't too hungry, but he's probably finishing up his dinner right now. So I'm curious to know what's going through David's head as he sees this glorious dessert. David, take it away, please.
Glorious, hallelujah. Yes,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah. Yes. So it's a very, I would say more like a glorious, more like a decadent, deliciously decadent. Uh, it reminds me of this cake, this dessert that we have in Latin America. Is called tres leches, means three milks. And I just paste the website if you want to look at it. And basically it's made of three milks, got the three kinds of milk. But it's very tasty. It's very soft. It's very juicy, and amazingly for your uh, taste buds. I mean, it tastes wonderful for your taste buds. Um, yeah, I think everybody. I guess most people like desserts. I do. I do like desserts. I like ice cream. I like cakes. However, they don't like me. I cannot have too much ice cream or dessert because I have a condition that I can't have too much carbs or milk or dairy products in my system. So I usually really appreciate when I have the chance to go for ice cream because I'm going to enjoy the moment, but then I'm going to suffer for a week or two. So but I still, I only live, you only live once, so I don't let my condition deprive me from some pleasures, some nice pleasures like this. So yeah, so I like. I think a dessert is always good when after a nice dinner. I I do have some dessert at home, but I usually have like a piece of ice cream, like a yogurt bar. That's my ice cream for me. And usually I like fresh fruits. But once in a while, a dessert like this is gonna be really really good.
I hear you, David. It sounds really good. What I'm going to do is we're still going to deal with desserts, but since we don't have a whole lot of time left, I want to show you another traditional English dessert.
Another single dessert.
Right, stop it. All right, here we go. What we call an English pudding, a Christmas pudding.
An English pudding.
Yes, that's right. All right, thank you, David. So Anna, I've changed up the image for you. So what comes to mind when you see this image?
I think of chocolate. I don't know if it's made of chocolate, but I love chocolate. I don't know what are those things inside. I don't know if it is something crispy. Mm, I don't know. I've never eaten eaten raisins. I like raisins. And is it made of chocolate? Brandy?
Oh, chocolate?
Yes, I like chocolate. And I don't know, is it crunchy?
No, it's not crunchy. It's rather dense, but it's very strong in flavors. It's made with a lot of alcohol. I don't know if you'd get drunk off it. You'd probably get sick if you ate enough to get drunk off it.
I like chocolate with alcohol. You know, I think cognac and chocolate goes well together. Also, liquor and chocolate goes very well together. Um, I don't know how to pronounce liquor in English. Um, I like this kind of desserts. Um, it has a nice decoration on it. Three leaves and a small ball that looks like a cherry. Mm. I'd like to try this kind of dessert.
I'm so
My,
hungry right now.
Yes, my favorite dessert is petit gâteau. It's a French dessert.
Oh, French, yes. Creme brulee, yummy.
Yes.
David asked a question, what is tipsy? Or can you get tipsy? Just I want to throw it out there. For those of you who don't know what tipsy is, well, it's if somebody is said to be tipsy, they have a very, very high potential of tipping over as a result of imbibing a lot of alcohol.
Imbibing a lot of alcohol. I like that one.
Thank you. Yes. Right. Amp. What comes to mind when you see this?
Too sweet.
Could be. It doesn't
Yeah,
taste too sweet though.
but at home, nobody likes to eat dessert after Christmas. No, we are full of food, and generally, people like to give you like a present, Christmas cake with a lot of fruits inside, nuts, and sometimes it's like January, the half of the January, and we still have that cake on the fridge because nobody is liked too much the desserts at home. So sometimes, yeah, we prefer not to eat, but we prefer to eat just salty food or yeah, or yes, or a particular drink that is made with eggs and milk and a little bit of alcohol that is made for these festivities. But yeah, dessert not is it's not a traditional uh, dish in my home. Even the little children at home, they are not so fond of chocolate or yeah or a dessert in this season. No, but it's well it that kind of dessert it should be with a big glass of milk. It's the only way that I should try it, this one. Leon is awake.
Yes, he is. Look at him.
Oh, new haircut.
Yeah, he just got one. Hey,
Yeah.
hello.
Hello.
Ow! Don't pull chest hairs. Okay, you can go back out. Go play with mommy. There we go. The missus is in the other room, and I just opened the door a little bit, and he comes running.
What's his name again?
Forehead.
Forehead? No.
No, it's Liam.
Mean Daddy.
Yeah, well, I've called him worse. So, we've got about 7 minutes left. I want to get some ideas from you guys. You guys are my regulars, so what I like to do is when we have these conversation classes, I want to give my regulars and my private students a chance to come up with stories or ideas for conversation classes. So as I said on Wednesday, I've got a news piece from the CBC station on Donald Trump's controversial campaign. What that will lead us to doing is having probably a call-in show where we can get people of all different types calling in and discussing. Some people thinking he's completely nuts. Other people think, well, he's got some ideas. Or we could do like an all-candidates meeting. And because it's make-believe, we could have Democrats and Republicans, and we could make this rather interesting. So what I'd like to do is, again, give you guys each a minute, but I want you guys to tell me the sort of ideas you like for conversation class, but also keep in mind that it is Christmas coming up and New Year's, and I'm pretty happy to create a sort of a holiday theme here. The one class I do have, the last one on New Year's Eve, is all going to be about Christmas. I am going to basically take clips from some Christmas movies, put them together, and we're going to, I don't know, I think Santa's going to be present for our role playing. All right. So, Edson, let's start off with you. I'll give you a minute. What are some ideas that work for you in conversation?
It's like when you disagree or agree with something, like in sports, or let's see, not so agree and disagree, but with whole places, because I like to be like as you have done, have been doing like one person is the sitting, another person is the broadcast, and the other person is like that, because we both had the opportunity to talk, of course, and we need to be creative, you know, because mainly the forecast, because the who's gonna ask the other guys what they think about the subject of what that has been it's been talking,
Well,
or
I'm going to continue that part, Edson, but what I'm looking for now is some actual topics. I will, of course, go out and get the videos and put them together for you guys. Generally, the videos are between 2 and 5 minutes. So, David, you've got a minute. Tell me what ideas you would like, or sorry, what conversation topics you would like for the class.
Oh, I have many ideas. One of them, for example, if you're going to talk about Donald Trump, I think what I would like to have is, especially in this class when we're advanced students, is go beyond that, kind of pushes more about our thinking, critical thinking skills. So if you want to present Donald Trump, say, you know, okay, this is what Donald Trump is, what is he saying, but go beyond that and study their plan and say, okay, let's look at the plans. Is that really possible or not? So that way we are thinking, not only just repeating what people are saying. Or
Yeah, we
if you
can
say,
certainly do that, and I like the idea of maybe that works well in the
and also, you know, that will also
panel.
right because that's also going to help people who are when they have elections in their countries, they can use those same critical thinking skills. Say, you know, okay, I like this candidate, but what he's saying is really true. I mean, is it possible, and how is that possible? You know, so I think that we need to push a little bit more to be more critical thinkers. Go from the basics and then intermediate, and then go deep and push that.
Okay.
For the holidays, for example, why don't we talk about what is the origins of, for example, the mistletoe? Why we have to kiss under the mistletoe? Or maybe
actually, let me stop you there. It's not the mistletoe; it's a mistletoe.
Mistletoe.
So it's not a frog hanging from the ceiling; it's a plant. So
it's a mistletoe.
I don't know where David comes from, but here in Europe and North America, we actually kiss. It's a plant that hangs from the ceiling, and it's not a toad. No.
Mistletoe, not toad. Toad. You pick on me. You picking on me?
David. No, I'm sorry. I need to give everybody else a chance. So let's go to Anna. Anna, what topics would you like for conversation class?
I liked a lot the class you taught about the role play, you know, and I think in that class about Donald Trump, someone could be the host, someone could be Donald Trump, we could be we could have some Democrats, some Republicans, and some people from the audience, some people who are going to vote for them, asking questions and giving opinions as well.
Yeah, we could do a town hall.
Yes, and also we could have another talking show like a host, and for instance, an athlete who was caught head-handed in a doping test, for instance, and then the athlete would deny everything, and people could accuse, and we could have a discussion about doping, you know, and steroids, and I don't know.
That. Yeah, some crime or trial, and did he do it, kind of thing.
Maybe.
Right. Thank you, very good, Anna. That's terrific. 11 p.m. for you, for the teacher. I don't understand. What are you asking at 11 p.m.? I don't have any classes at 11 p.m. Not my time.
He wants to have
Yeah, but it is Christmas. Well, we've got a minute left. Amp, your thought.
Well, something related with the news, and well, we saw the video of the Martin's killed last week, and well, you know that he is in prison now, and well, we can continue with this terrible guy.
Who was in prison? I didn't catch the name.
Martin, the man from the lab, the pharmaceutical, that he increased the price of the drug from 1350 to $700.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, now he is in prison. Well, we can continue with it.
He's in prison. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Oh, we're so
Finally.
getting a class on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Great. Oh, I'm so excited.
I am sure that a lot of people is.
Yeah, no doubt. Awesome. Let me pause. So there we go. Now, if you guys have to go to your next class, rush, go away. I don't mind you leaving because I try not to go over. Thank you guys so much for showing up. That's it for today. Again, take a look at my schedule. I've got another 8 classes this week. It's a busy week, and I promise you, I am going to teach a class Christmas Day. I just don't know when yet.
Okay.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye. Bye, guys.